It's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one. You got questions for all around here? Here's how you get some answers. Oh, now we get real. Get down. You gonna feel good now.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, oracle, Reiki practitioner, fitness instructor, mother, but most importantly, a student. Ongoing learning. There is always something to practice. There is always something to do. There is never a moment of boredom, especially when you make a commitment and you prioritize this growing, expanding, prioritize wanting to be happier. But let me just throw something out, because I get a lot of flack. Some people don't like that word happy. What does that mean? To be very clear, the happiness I'm talking about an energy of peace, an energy of contentment, an energy of contentment that just exudes from your pores. And this energy of contentment and peace has nothing to do with anything that happens to you, has nothing to do with anything external. When I talk about happiness, I'm talking about I define it as the ability to maintain a vibration, an energy of peace, regardless of what happens, and regardless of what doesn't happen, regardless of what's in the news, regardless of what your next door neighbor says, regardless of what your significant other doesn't do. This state of being, this state of living, this place that I practice using it as a foundation is rooted in peace, is rooted in the energy of contentment. And you all know what that feels like. And it is not this happiness. I define happiness as the ability to vibrate an energy of peace, regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. It has nothing to do with your circumstances. It has nothing to do with experience, has nothing to do with your triggers, nothing to do with buttons being pushed, nothing to do with anything. In fact, I read a quote the other day. Let's see. Oh, listen to this one. And it was on Instagram. You don't see life as it is. You don't see life as it is. You view life as you are. So if you look out into the world and you see chaos and turmoil and evil and on and on and on, and then that's what's going on inside of you. And I contend, and again, this is my perspective. I've been studying, researching for over 45 years now. That's a long time. And when I say researching, I was just like everybody else, programmed to believe that the accomplishments, the titles behind the names, the relationships, the money, the achievements, the goals being met, finding my purpose is going to make or bring happiness or bring this energy of contentment. And it just doesn't. You are either vibrating an energy of satisfaction or dissatisfaction in every moment. And in order to vibrate, and when you are vibrating that energy of dissatisfaction, which, by the way, the world sells, SELLS, dissatisfaction. The world sells The world sells, seek, do more, achieve more, keep moving, work hard. I get all of that. But if you are doing all that to get to find or get a feeling of contentment, it ain't going to happen ever. If you are working hard to get to a place of, yeah, then I'll feel, it's not going to happen. Guaranteed. Just ask Michael Jackson, Prince, Anthony Bourdain, Robin Williams. Ask them. Oh, that's right. They're not around, but you can. There's evidence all over the places. The people with the most accomplishments doesn't mean that they have an energy of contentment. It is a practice. Happiness is a practice skill. Contentment is a practice skill. Peace, vibrating peace is a practice. And all I'm here to do is to share with the world or whoever's listening. If 0 people are listening, that's another thing. It is the programming, it is the stories, it is the thoughts, but back up to the programming. It is the programming that causes the suffering. It is the programming and the beliefs, the deep-seated beliefs that cause suffering. And in fact, this is just one right off the top of my head. I get this all the time. Such pushback, worrying. Well, worrying is a learned program. You didn't pop out of the womb knowing how to worry. So when you worry, you know that it is, number one, it's a program, it's a learned behavior, and whatever you learned, you can unlearn. The second thing is, worrying does not mean that you care. Sorry. Worrying just means that you know how to worry. Worry just means that you're programmed. Worrying about someone or about the world doesn't mean that you care. It is an energy. It is a vibration, and you can feel the difference. Question, do you feel, how do you feel when someone says, I'm worried about you? Anyway, I got way off on another tangent, as I usually do. But back to the practice. All of the practice, without exception, without any other way, is done in the mirror. All of the practice is done with that person in the mirror. And that's how powerful you are. Let me just share something, because today's topic is transcending the mind. And that practice alone, guaranteed, will take you to another state of awareness, of consciousness, of peace. But before I go on with that topic, because that's all that really is all there is. When you get to another level, when I say get to another level, when you get to a level and you start valuing this thing called peace, valuing an energy of contentment, valuing happiness. Number one, not number two, not number three, number one. And then you can keep doing whatever you're doing. But that is the number one. When you place that as just like having, I don't know, now $1 billion isn't enough these days. It's $1 trillion. When you place value, I wouldn't exchange what I've learned. I wouldn't exchange my consciousness for billions of dollars. Guaranteed. Billions of dollars. It's not about it's not about the accomplishments. Accomplishments mean, I don't even want to say this. I don't have any friends as it is. Meaningless. That's another program, that there is going to be a legacy left. Meaningless. You will, I don't want to do this. You will be forgotten. This selling legacy, your legacy, what a bunch of crap. Did I say that out loud? I could have said something else. Okay, let me just do a brief introduction as if I didn't already. Happiness, when I say happiness, it is a state of mind. It is a state of mind that's constant. And in fact, today's topic is transcending the mind, transcending the ego for the ultimate state of mind. And that means it's not about quieting the mind. It's not about going and replacing the negative thoughts with a positive thought. It's not about doing any work. It's about witnessing and observing this constant mind of stress and chaos and doom and all of it, just witnessing and observing it. That is the place where all peace resides. Not with the mind. The mind is incapable. The mind is incapable of bringing you peace or incapable of presenting a practice that's going to bring peace. Its food is discontentment. It's food, the mind, the ego, all of these thoughts. It's impossible. That's not its nature. Back to this. There is a very famous study. It's called The 5 Most Common Regrets of the Dying. And it was done by a hospice nurse. You can Google it. And she asked her patients, this was probably 20 years ago. She asked her patients, what are your 5 biggest regrets? Do you have, what are your 5 biggest regrets? Now, these people had days to live, weeks to live, months to live. And she asked them, what are your biggest regrets? And her patients came back with, number 1, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. Now, this world has a lot of expectations, not only the world, but even the person in the mirror. If you're like most people, 98% of the population, there are a lot of expectations, scratch that, programmed expectations that, quite frankly, if they're not identified as programmed expectations, will keep you in a state of unrest. 5 most common regrets of the dying. Number 1, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me, and not the life the world expects of me, and not my own expectations. Number 2, shout out to all my workaholics. I wish I didn't work so hard. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. You know, it's really interesting. There are some people that, not a lot of people that I can talk to, and they don't take, and it's not a lot of people, they don't take what I say personally. Scratch that. Not only what I say, my delivery. There was one post a couple of days ago, and someone commented, I wish that this teacher would have a softer delivery. The delivery to this message is just way too harsh. Can't you be any softer? And so with that statement, that indicates that, number 1, the program person that wrote that has a preference about how they want their message, or how they want their teacher to deliver a message. And I'm here to say that the truth can be delivered in a lot of different ways, with a baseball bat or a soft feather. I usually tend to be the baseball bat type, if you haven't noticed. But getting back to taking anything personally, when you practice letting go and really paying attention to this mind that does take something personal, events, what someone says, it's personal. Know that is a jail sentence. That is when, let me just speak for myself. When I take something personal, even the closest person to me is my son. I only have one. And when I take something personal, what he does or what he says, or lack of calling or lack of texting or lack of continuing a show, that we actually had a show that lasted over a little over a year and a half. It's not personal. I know it is a program to take something personally, but when I say transcending the mind, it is getting to a place where yesterday I used to think, yesterday I used to behave like this, yesterday I used to respond, scratch that, I used to react like this, but today is different. Today, the mind is not in charge. The mind, and I'm not going to say my mind, but the mind is not responsible for my emotions. The mind is not responsible. And more than not responsible, I am not the mind. I am not the thoughts. I am not the story. So that is the importance of transcending and getting to another place in being aware that this, whatever's going on in here, is not on the same team, is not on your team. In fact, it's on the opponent's team. It's not on your team. But let me get back to the 5 most common regrets of the dying. Number 2, I wish I didn't work so hard. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. Let me go back to I wish I didn't work so hard. You know, this world, this program world teaches, work hard, work hard. Well, I get it. There is a level of skill that in fact, there is a level that skill, I'm talking about professional athletes now, that if there isn't practice and isn't work, then there's no getting to another level. I mean, I remember watching the documentary with Michael Jordan and how many hours, you know, before games and constant practice and constant. And so getting to another level of excellence in that particular field, in being a professional athlete, professional basketball player. It's the same with contentment. It's the same with happiness. It's the same with this inner peace. Is this practice, ongoing practice, never-ending practice. And what do you practice? Thanks for asking. What do you practice? You practice putting a spotlight on and eliminating all of these program behaviors. The programming is an epidemic. The programming is a virus. The programming is in 98% of everything. And when you start on this journey and really commit to the practice, you will recognize and notice the programming all over the place. Speaking of programming, my latest book is called Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. It's on Amazon. It went international bestseller and then also Amazon bestseller, but we all know there's a formula for that. Program for Unhappiness. In this book, I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from a person's happiness and contentment. I also list 26 behaviors that you can practice that will add to your contentment, that will add to your peace and your happiness. Again, happiness is an energy. It is a personal vibration. But let me get back to the 5 most common regrets of the dying. I wish I didn't work so hard. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. And that comes with, I'm just speaking for myself, that comes with, I'm going to, okay, here we go. Now you hear when I say I'm going to. When I say I, what entity am I referring to? The Rebecca, the one that is, that has a name, that has a gender, that has an identity, a human identity, that has a list of accomplishments behind it? Or am I talking about the identity that has no name other than just presence, has no name other than just awareness, has no identity other than just presence? Did I say? I did say presence. When I talk about those two, and they are different, it's the practice is to be mindful of which entity am I identifying with? Which entity am I identifying with? And I have to say that when in the practice is to always be conscious, always. I don't even have my water here. There are no breaks. There are no vacations. There is no time off. It is a constant, never-ending practice. And being aware that what entity am I identifying with? And when I identify with the human, when I identify with this person, Rebecca, with the mind, it's just a matter of time. When I pick and chew on those juicy carrots, or that piece of fruit that's just so sweet, there is all, without exception, there is going to be a crash. And when I say crash, I'm talking about unrest. I'm talking about not feeling, the opposite of feeling happy. The last, I forgot this other, number 4. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Of course, sometimes we outgrow people. Nothing wrong with them, nothing wrong with you. It's just some people are around for a season. And the 5th regret is, I wish I would have let myself be happier. That is the reason why I tackle this topic. And that's the reason why this is my only topic, the truth about happiness. Back to today's topic, transcending the mind. Today I was at the gym. I usually work out early in the morning every day. I know, every day. And I don't know about you, but people that are in my life are there for a reason, especially those people that are triggering, especially those people that are not like Rebecca, especially those people that Rebecca judges to have just judges. Such a challenge. And the challenge is to practice acceptance of all types, because the truth is, I am that person that is annoying. I am that person that is irritating. I am that person that I am. When I say I'm using it loosely, judge. There is no separation. It is a hard concept to accept. It's a hard concept to swallow, but it is the ultimate concept to embrace. Because when I see or I recognize another person, another soul, I'm looking at, oh God, myself. I'm looking at another version of moi. When I say transcending the mind, transcending the ego, there is a space between. There is a space between that takes a lot of conscious awareness. Right in between, before Rebecca puts her 2 cents in, or before Rebecca says something that isn't going to be peaceful. There is a space in between. And sometimes it is an uncomfortable place to be. It is an uncomfortable space because the mind just wants to react, and the mind just wants to shout out a variety of things, and the mind wants to be right. The mind needs to be right, and the mind needs to judge, and the mind needs to have preferences, but the mind is not capable of bringing any kind of peace. The mind the mind is used in the moment for, I don't know, creating something, inventing, writing, even washing dishes. But as far as sustaining and maintaining peace, it's impossible. It's impossible for the mind to do that. It's not its nature. It's not its cup of tea. It is the core of its being is unrest, dissatisfaction, turmoil, what's wrong, preferences. It is not a place where peace is found. And in fact, I don't meditate. I do other things. I don't meditate. But I've heard that meditation with a lot of practice can take a person to a different place where the mind is quiet. I don't know how about this? Quieter. I don't know if it ever gets completely quiet, but that place is what I'm talking about. How to maintain and stay in that place. And even if I can't, just to recognize, oh, that's not me. Those stories aren't me. Those thoughts aren't me. Not only are they not me, but they're not the truth. Transcending the mind takes practice, awareness in every single moment. And in fact, here we go. If I'm living in the present moment, there is not going to be a judgment, a trigger, a button pushed. There is not going to be an irritation, a judgment. If I am really clean, and when I say clean slate, clean, this present moment I'm really in it. There is nothing that is going to take here or there. That's why the practice of staying, living, or in the present moment is so calming. It doesn't take me into tomorrow. It doesn't bring me back to yesterday. And the other thing about the mind and the ego, has only one perspective. Haven't you noticed that there is just one perspective? One perspective that the mind and the ego can offer. Just one. Not 5, just one. Talk about limiting. How limiting is that? If there's only one perspective. That's why the practice of transcending and knowing, how about this? Knowing, scratch that. Being able to sit in, being able to stay in uncomfortableness. Is that a word? Uncomfortableness. Being able to stay and to absorb and to just bathe in being uncomfortable. is where transformation and transcending is the reward. That uncomfortable feeling, that ugh, has a purpose too. It's just the mind that says, I prefer to feel like this. All feelings, all emotions, there's no judgment on them. In fact, one of the things I practice is not labeling emotions or labeling feelings. How do I know what the difference between sad and lonely is, or regret and sadness is? It's a vibration. Why am I labeling it? Labeling it is another program. So there's a lot of freedom in letting go of the programming of the labels. Hold on a second, let me find this. Oh, I wrote this quote down. I want to share it. A wise man builds a house out of the stones his enemies throw at him. Was that Moji that said that? A wise man builds a house out of the stones his enemies, also circumstances, throw at him. That's pretty powerful. And this practice, when I say contentment is a practice skill, this practice is one of the most, scratch that, is the most, okay, this is just a description, is difficult only because of what the mind has been programmed to believe. The mind has been programmed to believe that I prefer this state. The mind has been programmed to have judgments about a moment. The mind has been programmed to have an attachment to an outcome. The mind has been programmed to have attachments, all attachments, even attachments to health, feeling good. I think that's today's show. I think I can wrap it up. Let me just look at my notes. You don't see life as it is. You see life as you are. Peace. This mind will never lead to peace. You know you're on the right path when your behavior doesn't match the mind. Only peace. And you know the other thing, so let me just go back a little bit about transcending. Life is turbulent. It is, I mean, it is up and down and up and down, and it is a turbulent storm. The practice is to accept the turbulence without stories attached. The practice is to accept and flow through, and without resistance, the turbulence, without a story attached to it as to why. One of my favorite quotes from Guy Finley is, "The feel is real, but the why is a lie." And so, who are you when you are challenged? Who are you when the storm hits? What is the go-to? What is the automatic? What is the go-to when the storm hits? What is your go-to? And my go-to is always, and it's just constant. I trust that everything is happening for my betterment. I trust and I believe that everything is unfolding, and it's serving me. I let go and I observe and I witness the thoughts and the stories without believing any of them. And I know that if something is happening and if I'm experiencing whatever, that's exactly, it is in line with what the universe wants. The universe, God, source, higher power, whatever you want to call it, whatever I'm experiencing is in alignment with what the universe wants. The mind, no. The universe, yes. So the question is, what team am I playing for? Team Universe, transcending the mind. Transcending. So that is really it. I know I've talked about transcending the mind more than once because there really isn't any, well, I can talk about specific problems. I can go into detail, but this is the ultimate state where the detail of the problem isn't important. The problem has nothing to do with my ability to maintain and have an energy, have a vibration of contentment. Nothing to do with it. So it could be storming, it could be tsunamis, it could be anything. But that is what's going on outside has nothing to do with what's inside. And that, I think, is a mic drop. So question. Can other people hurt your feelings? Can other people offend you? Can other people disappoint you? Do you blame other people for how you feel? Do you blame your circumstances for how you feel? There's nothing wrong with accomplishments, titles, wealth, accolades, fame, trophies, awards, social media likes, or amassing millions of followers. But it's time to tell the truth. None of those mentioned above, without exception, equates to happiness. You know what? I'm going to have to say that at the beginning of the show. Believe it or not, after 15 years, maybe even longer, I'm still putting the show together. The only thing that has meaning is presence. Remove yourself from the experience and become an observer, and the experience changes. Anything that is observed changes. Complaining is a necessity for the program. What you really love to do is complain. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to put these in the front in the beginning. Put this right in the beginning so I can say that early in the show. Okay. Well, that's today's show. And follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. My LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn, and my Instagram handle is RealitySpirituality. YouTube channel, yay! YouTube channel is coming along really well. A lot of really good clips, short clips. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, that was published in 2014, but my latest book, scratch that. The latest book is Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. Don't you love that cover? I just love it. Program for Unhappiness. I got that, the back design from the Matrix movie. Until next time, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe, your conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing, always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be kind and be patient to yourself by accepting where you are, what you're doing, all of it in the moment. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, Rebecca L. Norrington. Remember, happiness is a practice skill. Contentment is a practice skill. And I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find. And your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice. Have a conscious week. Thank you for listening. From the beginning.
It's time to get real. It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one. You got a question for It's time to get some answers, babe. Now you get real. Get down. You gonna feel good now.